Hello and welcome back to Robin's Roundup with me, Jake Matho, joined by Tom Langford once again. We hope you liked the first episode. This is our second one, and this week we are going to be recapping on the fixture that's just gone on this weekend against Stafford Rangers, along with looking towards the next fixture to come and potentially some more over the next month, as well as a new little game that my dear friend Tom has decided to come up with. So, without further ado, Saturday's game against Stafford, Tom.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts, 3 points on the board, a must-win 3 points in a relegation 6-pointer that has kind of projected us closer to safety, and it was a must-win pretty much. I can't sum it up any better than that.
It was a perfect thing to do because it was a 6-pointer.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't as easy as we thought it would be after half-time.
No, the first half we really struggled. I don't think we controlled the ball well enough, and I was really impressed with how Stafford restricted us.
Impressed?
I was with their. It was more to do with their pressing style that they played along the front. I think it was like a front two or a front three they were playing, and I was really impressed the way that they pinned our defenders in, so they had to go long. And was it Burns at the back for them?
It was.
We were then
6'9".
Exactly.
That Burns, I think it was.
We then had to go long to Burns, and Almond and Rodney just couldn't quite win the ball off him, and fair enough because he was a unit. So I was really impressed with that, and then looking on from that, the second half showed massive improvement signs which were needed.
You mentioned Almond, who had a almost ineffective first half. Second half he was a different player though, wasn't he?
Second half, I think it's something we've lacked all season. Someone who's pretty much a hold-up merchant is how I describe Almond. The way he held that ball up in the second half was stupendous. The way he got other players into the game. One example of it was the Sam Sheridan shot that the keeper had to make a fantastic save from. You think the ball comes into him, holds it up really well and just lays it off for Sheridan. You think with the midfielders we've got, Ben Hardcastle, Michael Brewster, Sam Sheridan, you imagine they'll like a nice little long range effort, and if he can just knock that ball off to him, then it's going to be fantastic.
Just the first real opportunity in the second half, with a couple of minutes in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That made you think, hello,
something.
Clegg said something at half time.
Exactly.
Right? I wonder what he did say at half time.
We asked him in the post-match interview, and he just said that he pretty much gave a few of the players home truths, to saying, why do you want to be here, and what does this club mean to you? And I think it just rallied them up, and it was needed because that first half was abysmal from the Robins, and I think he would have known that, and it was very worrying, especially seeing them warm up. Some of the passes that they were making in the pre-game warm-up was awful, and to go in 1-0 behind to them, and he was like, oh my god, we actually might go down this season. But big second half, loads of improvements, and just a fantastic fantastic all-round second half performance.
Home truths that definitely hit home.
Definitely.
Speaking of Clegg, he's brought in players from his previous club, like Ben Hardcastle, Michael Brewster, the main man, the guy that you gave man of the match to as well on Saturday.
Yeah. The
two of them combined for the goal as well. So, do you have any analysis you'd have to say about those two?
Ben Hardcastle's deliveries from set pieces yesterday were phenomenal. So was John Pritchard's for the first goal that Willow headed in. I think that's something we've lacked over the past few weeks. You think about the amount of set piece takers we've got in our side. You think them two you've mentioned, as well as Sam Sheridan can take a free kick. We've just not lacked that little bit of quality. And then yesterday we just shone, because we do have people in the box who can win the ball and can flick it on or score goals like we saw yesterday. By the way, we are filming this on a Sunday, so if we do say yesterday and it comes out on a Monday or Tuesday, there you go. Forgive us. Simple explanation. But yeah, the set piece delivery from Hardcastle and JP was fantastic yesterday. I think as well Brewster was phenomenal. Before that, I think we were a little bit unsure about his abilities.
Before the game,
but he was class.
I think we said on commentary before he even scored, he has been our most influential player. He was everywhere.
He was like having pretty much like a Chris Rowney kind of figure. Just always racing around the pitch, winning the ball back. He was very industrial in midfield, and it's something you need when you are down there. Even at the top of the table, you need someone who does the dirty work and puts the shift in and got his reward with the goal.
Yeah. One thing I noticed you said, Sheridan likes a free kick. I think we have to take a second for their free kick yesterday.
Oh my days! For the birthday boy,
Joshua Green. The player, he's a midfielder on their website, but he has right-footed, and yet he played left back, and yet he was involved in everything. It was his corner actually that started setting off problems for us. Like Hartley made a good save from a corner that he crossed in for. I think it was Jake Charles or someone up front. That hit a decent effort that Hartley saved. But the free kick, about 30 yards. For anyone that hasn't seen it, please check it out, because as much as it wasn't an Ashton goal, it's a goal of the season contender.
It's a sublime free kick.
It really is.
Greg Hartley can do about it. It just lodges into the top corner.
Lodges? That's an interesting
I couldn't get I surprised myself with the word. I was like, hang on.
But yeah, no, he did lodge it. Like, there was nothing a keeper could do.
No, not even the best keeper in the world could say that. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
And if that was the goal that had decided the game, then fair play, because it was a wonderful moment for the player. But fortunately for us, we got 2 goals in the second.
It did seem like it would be one of those things where we've played dreadful, we've watched them pretty much warm up with long balls. That's all they've done so far. They've limited us. Nothing's really happening. Oh, a 30-yard screen has just gone in the back of the net. We're 1-0 down. So something Clegg said has changed it. It's then led to the goal, which we were criticising actually Ben Hardcastle. I mean, I would have to take the majority of the blame for the criticism, because I was just saying on the commentary, we're lacking something up front, and I believe Ben Hardcastle had just missed a really good opportunity. We were a bit frustrated, weren't we?
It was the one he went through on goal and just spurned his opportunity. I don't know if he tried to chip the keeper, didn't he? Because the keeper came rushing out and it looked like he tried to chip the goalkeeper, but just didn't make a clean connection with the ball, and it ended up just rolling into the keeper's hands. And it was like, oh, is it going to be one of them days again where we've squandered our opportunities? But
it wasn't the only chance we had either, was it? Like,
no.
Smith as well.
Smith, oh my days. Smith's one where he just was, it was, who shot was it? Allman shot, deflected off the defender, and Smith just couldn't poke it into the open. Well, it wasn't open because the defender was just there.
Anywhere else, it probably would have gone in, but someone was on the line. It was a quality block on the line.
Exactly,
It was almost an impact substitution, 3 minutes or so, wasn't it? After
3-4 minutes,
just like FC United. It would have been amazing, but it just set up for the fairy tale ending. Was, I think, 4 minutes remaining on the clock when Brewster was there to score a goal, and we asked him, didn't we, off air after the interview. He was like, "Don't expect much more of it." But no, we can hope. We can hope. Anyway. But no, it stands us in good stead, because it was a win, and that's all that matters, because it was a 6-pointer. Had we lost, we would have been bottom, regardless of who would have taken the actual bottom of the table on goal difference. We would have been joint bottom, wouldn't we? Yeah. So it's a positive, at the end of the day.
Definitely.
I think that would lead us on quite nicely and to look towards our next game. Who is?
Morpeth.
And it's an away trip up to Morpeth, and it's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
Tough.
Yeah. So
it's going to be tough for the players, and it's also going to be tough for us. Nice long game.
It is, yeah. So hopefully we come back with something,
please.
But it does then sound a bit daunting when you think about the statistics behind Morpeth this season.
Yeah.
So far this season, they've played 7 league games, which is not that many compared to everyone else in the league. They've played 7, won 5, drawn 2, yet to lose. In the league, they're the fifth most informed side. They, I think, are 13th in the league. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, 13th in the league, and yet everyone above them has played about 4 games more. Bar one team, I think, who are around the same. It's Whitby Town.
Yeah, it's Whitby.
Everyone else above them has played around 4 games more than them. So, with the games you'd expect, with the form they've been under, they're the type of team that'll be challenging for playoffs. And I feel like it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, going that far away as well is always difficult. You think that long journey, it will tire people mentally. Early start in the morning. But yeah, they obviously won promotion last year to this division, so they're obviously going to be in a little bit of a bounce. You mentioned as well the amount of games they've got in hand as well. They'll be looking at that similarly to we are, the same kind of position where we've got plenty of games in hand. We're looking at it and feeling, okay, if we can pick up points here and there, then potentially we can start to move forward up the table. Like you mentioned as well, the home form, not lost at home. That will be something that's in their minds, that this is a fortress. Exactly. Teams are going to come to us and think we can't gain 3 points here. So it is going to be a really tough test for the Robins, but with that win against Stafford, I feel there is going to be a shift in mentality, because after the game, you know, we spoke to Clegg off camera, we spoke to quite a few people off camera as well, a few players as well, and you could just feel the energy had changed around the club. There was real positive vibe after the game, and it was a little bit like relief.
You saw it in the team celebration.
Oh my god, yeah, right at the end, you know. I think that was some amazing scenes between the fans and the players, because it meant so much to them, because we have been on a dire run, but that game, it seems like a start of a revolution.
It does, it really does. I know, of course, it was against bottom of the league, but you have to start somewhere. And we have, and I think, like I said as well, you can't expect to now go to Morpeth and win 3-0. If we're going to win, it's going to be a tough game, and we probably will have times where we're under the cosh.
Definitely.
So to take anything from Saturday's game is amazing, and if we don't, it's not the end of the world.
No.
We still have to play them again later on this month, due to like the postponements of the fixtures. They have to travel to us. Is it a weekday game?
It's a Tuesday night game, and they also have to go to Baseford on the Saturday, which is a 3-hour trip from them in a car.
So is it a 6-hour round journey twice?
6-hour round journey twice, pretty much.
In the week. Tuesday night coming to us. They're not going to bring that many fans. They're going to be knackered.
Yeah.
The only saving grace maybe for this week is the fact that they have an Integra League Cup fixture on Tuesday night. It is against Pickering. I believe you said they are the league below.
League below bottom as well.
So you would think they would rotate a bit somewhat, but it is a game, whereas we've got the week off to travel up there, and we'll have fresh legs and still have the spirits of the fact that we won on Saturday. So
exactly,
there's optimism, and where's it come from?
No idea, mate.
Yeah, it's good. It's promising, but it's still going to be. There's still a long road ahead, isn't there?
Long road ahead, but to win that game on Saturday, although it wasn't the greatest of performances, you can only beat what was put in front of you. It was a very scrappy game, but it always was going to be when two teams are vitally needing 3 points. So I think to gain the 3 points, and the way we did it with the Brewster at the end, it's just gave everyone that little bit of a lift that we massively needed. Yeah,
team's looking good, good squad depth. It's looking good.
Yeah,
it is also one thing though is for sure. We have to point out the fact that Morpeth are in a good vein of form. They played Buxton on Saturday.
Yeah,
we're 2-0 down away from home, 1-3-2. Jack Fowell, apologies if I've pronounced that wrong.
He'll be listening.
F-O-A-L-L-E is how you pronounce it if you spell it right. And he scored a hat-trick.
Wow.
So he's a player to watch. 5 goals in his last 2 games. He's in a bit of form. Hopefully we can shut him out. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
But one other thing I've seen recently is we've got a very resolute defence.
Yeah.
Haven didn't even play. Josh Wilson played. And guess what? What did he go and do?
Scores.
He always seems to score.
He always seems to score when he's at the back.
But yeah, it's looking promising. But Morpeth is a big game to go to continue our little run. We say it's a run, it's not a run until we get to it. But it's promising, and we got the result where we needed to.
Exactly.
And I feel like Clegg is making the improvements that finally we're able to see on the results.
Yeah.
So that brings us on to our new game we have in store this week. It's something we'll plan to do as much as we can, changing us up a bit. Last week we had Mysterious Ground, where I brought a ground to Tom, explained it in 3 facts without saying the name, and he had to guess it. And we will try to give it a bit of a break in between so you have a bit of time to guess it too. This week, the game is called Who Am I? This time, would you like to explain it?
Yeah, I like to explain.
Go on, Tom.
So, what Who Am I is I'll give you 3 clues, similar to Mysterious Grounds, where you get 3 clues to guess the ground. You'll get 3 clues to guess the player. Obviously, it's going to be a player who has played for us this season, still playing, and also may have left. That makes sense? Yeah, that makes sense. So 3 clues. I'll read them 3 clues out to you. Jake can have a little guess, and then we'll reveal it later in the show. So we'll start with clue number 1.
Right.
I have played 10 games for the club so far this season. Okay, that's clue number 1. Clue number 2. I have scored 2 goals for the club so far this season. And third and final clue, I started my career at Sheffield United. So those are your 3 clues. I'll quickly run through them again. First clue, I have played 10 games for the club so far this season.
Yeah.
Clue number 2, I have scored 2 goals for the club. And the third and final clue, I have started my career at Sheffield United. So who do you think that is, mate?
Well, one thing I know for sure
Yeah.
is that there are 3 players on 4 goals, and that is Havern, Wilson, and Sheridan. Well, not Wilson.
Not Wilson.
Havern, Thames, and Sheridan.
Yeah.
Wilson is now on 9 or 10.
10.
Yeah.
Wilson's on 10.
So it's none of them,
Yeah.
and they also have featured quite a lot this season.
Mhm.
So they are definitely out of it. Now I'm a bit in a pickle because I'm not quite sure who scored twice. The only names coming to mind for me are the likes of maybe Connor Hughes, but I don't know how many he scored before he were to leave and go to Hyde on loan.
Yeah.
And maybe Jordan Slew,
Right.
who has now gone to Morecambe.
Somehow.
Be interested to see if he actually played at the weekend.
Yeah.
We should find that out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with, it's either Connor Hughes or Jordan Slew.
Okay.
And I'll make a proper guess at the end of the show.
Alright. That's
what it gives them a bit of time to...
Gives people a little
I
bit
could
of time.
be wrong, might have embarrassed myself. You might be thinking, oh, you're wrong, Wilson's only scored 2. But
I mean, yeah, just
that's
that's
not true. Anyway, so I'm a bit of a break from that, and we're going to go and look at something a bit... It's almost a bit humorous in a negative kind of way. Like, it's like, how is this possible?
It would be funny to look back at it at the end of the season.
What we're talking about is football web pages have created, I believe at the start of the season,
It updates after every...
Yeah, I feel like they've started at the start of the season though, put all what they think in, and then it updates every game.
Okay.
And they put the real results in, and then they change as to like the percentages of who wins. Basically, they've put a league table and predicted the standings at the end of the season. It changes, I believe, after each weekend when they put the real results in.
Yeah, it just says it there.
Because they also have predicted scores as well, based on the percentages, which I have no idea where the percentages come from.
Yeah, there's some weird ones. I will leave a link to it as well in
Yeah.
the description so you can go and have a look at it for yourself.
But percentages of who is more likely to win. If it's pretty even, if it's more percentage of a draw, it'll probably be a 0-0, 1-1. We get a lot of them. But if there's a higher percentage for a win, of course, it'll be a home or away win, and that comes out onto the table. Would you like to explain it a little bit as to where we find ourselves at the end of the season according to football web pages?
Well, according to the website, we're not bottom, so that is one caveat we can take away.
Saturday.
As of Saturday's predictions, Stafford do finish bottom on 23 points. However, one place above, they've got the almighty Robins on 30 points. 8 points from the weird relegation spot that still not sure how that one quite works. I will find that out somewhere or somehow, and we will explain it.
And third bottom is potentially not enough to keep us
Yes,
up,
exactly. We're 8 points away from that in the prediction, and 12 points away from guaranteed safety. So it's a little bit worrying.
What's the goal difference like from safety guaranteed? Is it 4 or?
Not too bad actually, because Grantham are in 20th place.
Yeah.
I will leave actually a little.
Put a little
bit. I'll put the bottom of it so
All right.
you can see it, and you can go check the rest of the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is Grantham who are in that weird spot that no one really knows what's going off there, to be honest. But their goal difference is -40 because they concede for fun.
They do. They really
I mean,
do.
we even scored 4 past them, so...
Yeah, and one thing is for sure, we have got a resolute defence, and I think football web pages have acknowledged that
They have.
somewhat.
They have?
Yeah, because as I can see on here, like the likes of, is that Bamber Bridge?
That is
Bamber
Bamber
Bridge, and they've conceded 71 goals by the end of the season, according to this website, whereas we've only conceded 57?
57 according to us.
So, I mean, it's a strange one.
Mm.
Do Stafford Rangers score another goal this season? I believe they were on 15 before they scored against us on Saturday.
So, they have scored 14 goals so far this season, as it just loads away.
And it's 16.
16! So, according to web pages, Stafford will score a goal for the rest of the season. So, if you are a Stafford fan tuning in, good luck.
Did you say 14 they've scored this season or 15?
15.
15. So they've scored 15 and at the end of the season they're going to score 16, and we're about halfway through.
Well, they're going to have a marvellous season.
It's not much better for us, by the way. I think we get about 6 or 7.
Yeah, something like that. We only get one more home win as well.
Yeah, and I feel like that's Scarborough, which is a weird one because I believe the only other win that Stafford get is Scarborough as well. Yet Scarborough, according to the website, finished 11th. It's a weird one. We found it like weirdly funny because we were a bit bemused as to where they'd got these stats from.
Yeah, especially with their predictive results as well. They're very weird. They're usually 1 or 2-0 wins for teams or 0-0 draws. There's not many goals in it. So we don't quite understand how they've calculated this. It doesn't seem to be based on like any kind of expected goal models. It just seems...
Not even previous games against
No,
each
it
other.
just seems like they've gone, Ashton haven't scored for a bit. They can finish bottom if they want.
Oh, they've beaten bottom. Second bottom.
Second bottom.
So yeah, that's just something we thought you'd be interested in. We were interested in it. It was a bit of a weird one, but we thought it would be worth giving it a go.
Exactly.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is not the case. And the way things are going, we should be alright. We should be.
Definitely. Fingers crossed.
Anyway, before we go any further on, do you reckon we go back to our little game we had before?
Ah, okay. Right, so who are you definitely going for? Like, who do you think it is?
I'm going to commit to Jordan Slew.
You're going to commit to Jordan Slew? I can reveal that the correct answer is none other than the man himself, Jordan Slew.
Oh, so
his 2 goals.
Did anyone get it? But yeah, no, Jordan Slew. So that's what we're going to aim to do more often in our little weekly episodes as we can. Include a bit of interaction from the fans, get you thinking a bit about your club, about the league that we're in, and testing ourselves ultimately on our knowledge, which is improving somewhat.
Slowly improving. We noticed that the other day. We noticed it on commentary as well. If you didn't listen to the commentary, that is available on Mixlr. We'll also leave a link. Actually, no, we won't leave.
You know what? We should actually include the goal with the commentary in this, because
go on, then.
Something to check out in the commentary is just how meant to be the goal was.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why?
I feel the video does it itself.
Is more a defensive-minded midfielder as the Robins come forward. Chance for Lafudu as he tries to get the ball under control, juggles it in his feet. Sheridan fortunate there to maintain the ball as he clips it across the box, aiming for Almond at the back post, and it's headed behind. It's hit the corner flag and gone out for a corner. Very fortunate there. Hopefully this is a nice little bit of good luck for the Robins. A goal from another set piece will be fantastic.
Something they could consider, getting Rowney on maybe for Hardcastle, putting Wilson up front and Sheridan could drop back.
Yeah, that would be...
As the corner is crossed in, it's an in-swinger, it's round the back of the net! It's a goal! I don't quite know, is this Brewster, is it? It's Michael Brewster! I think it's Brewster, but it's found the back of the net! It's a cross from Hardcastle, just as we're saying maybe it should go off. Keep the lad on! It's 2-1 to Ashton! And it's Michael Brewster! He's had a fantastic game today. He's really made a name for himself this afternoon, and he's found the end of the cross from Ben Hardcastle, who has really whipped in some good corners today. And finally, we have seen Ashton score for the second time in the match. Oh, it's a cracking goal.
How on earth did you manage to be like, oh, another goal from a set piece would be great?
Honestly, I have got no idea. The fact that the ball bounced off the corner flag was so lucky, and I think I say that in the commentary as well, like how
luck changed
at that point. It was like we just meant to score.
There were things that the referee was given that seemed to be going more 70-20, as you could say, towards the visitors, like that handball from Hardcastle in the first half. The ball hit his hand and he got booked for it because it was kicked against his hand. Bit like Declan Rice, although probably a bit less worthy, even though Declan Rice was a bit harsh, I would say.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to turn onto our side. The chances came. I think the fact that the team were playing so positively, because you have to play and earn your luck, and we definitely did. It was just, how on earth did we... did you manage to call that look, and how on earth did I happen to be criticising Ben Hardcastle as he takes a peach of a corner?
Yeah.
And, well, rightly so, keep the lad on at the end of that.
Keep the lad on. Something else from the video as well is we keep watching it back because it's such a good moment. It is one of my favourite moments working at the club.
It is my favourite moment.
But the best thing about it is you can watch it over and over again, and just look at different areas and you see different people celebrating.
Yeah, like Cleggy.
So Cleggy's got in the air, you look at the players initially, they're all hugging each other, you look at the bench, Craig Marn's got his arms in the air as well. Then you look at the fans, you can see some of the fans.
Yeah.
There's one woman who's got her arms in the air. That was
running towards
someone, that's the one we've seen, and it's like, oh, it's honestly an unbelievable clip, and the commentary just fits so well with it.
You can even shut your eyes and you can hear Tom Langford's voice break.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Michael Brewster!
It's Michael Brewster!
Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed a little episode this week. That is to round up this week's show. We hope that you will like it, and we will see you very shortly.